That's part of it.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
I've done that before.
What do you think, Carl? I mean,
Well, I'm hesitant because that is a very aggressive approach. And like I said, it's, you know, our experience with the certification is we've been satisfied with it. But again, you know, we're big, and you know, having $200,000 or $300,000 in arrears that we have to wait on the certification to collect doesn't really badly impact us. Whereas with Shady Cove, I mean, you know, it's a more significant portion. I understand where they're coming from with that. I would want to you know, put together a pretty detailed procedure on how to do it.
Yeah. I agree. We need to do that first of all.
Yeah, and I would want you know, to have Joe Kelvin, our attorney,
I was going to suggest get the attorney
involved in that to make sure that you know, because you know that's going to be in the paper.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's part of the
I
idea.
actually think that's a good thing
Yeah,
for it to be in
and
the
so
paper.
you know, we need to make sure that we're doing this properly and that we're not you know, kind of
And we're not trying to,
vindictively trying to hurt people.
yeah, and we're not trying to be the big gorilla that's coming down with the, you know,
Yeah.
or anything. But when you start having people not respect the communities in which they live, it's a problem.
Well, and on top of that, sewer is different, like power, you don't pay your bill, they're shut off. The water, which is different, Shady Cove, but in any of the cities, you know that power bill is paid first.
Yeah.
The water is second, and the sewer is way at the bottom. And so to find a way to make that a little more of a priority is what needs to
Right,
happen.
and sewer is definitely a health and safety hazard too. And that's again, that's part of it. That's, you know, that's when I think about disrespecting your community as a whole because you're not willing to acknowledge that that part is just as important as you providing heat and water. And so I think we need to thoroughly investigate it, definitely with Joe, or you know, and legal, and come up with something and get it taken care of in a manner that is firm.
Right, and I mean, you know, and the difference between water and the other utilities is this isn't a matter of turning a valve.
Right, and ours is different.
You're talking about digging a hole and exposing the pipe and cutting the pipe, putting plugs on it. Yeah. And so, you know, you're going to have concerns about the safety of the workers that are going out there because
Right.
you know, you're dealing with people who are not going to be happy to see you there. So I mean, there's a lot involved in that. That's
Yeah.
something, like I said, we can put together a procedure for that and work with Joe and you know, probably talk to the county health division, make sure that they are on board with what's happening, and maybe even the sheriff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would talk with the sheriff too, as well, because they're the main source of.
They have to have a sheriff there while you're unplugging the pipe, Kevin, pipe. I feel
The city of Shady Cove contracts with Jackson County Sheriff's Office as their law enforcement, so they're right here. They have a substation at City Hall.
yes, so
So
I would think it's probably not at that point, because if you get a landlord, especially with rental rules in the state of Oregon, on the residential side,
Yeah, that's why.
those tenants are gonna be liable for restitution for loss of basically the product that they're buying.
Exactly.
The commercial properties, their loss of revenue because they're not able to operate.
Yeah.
And those landlords are gonna come.
That's why you do both. That's why, because of the loss that Oregon has.
and the-
People are getting provided a service that they refuse to pay for.
it's a shame that the press couldn't be made more aware of the problem as it stands right now. Because if I lived in Shady Cove and I got the Rogue Valley Times online version, if there was a big story about the ignorance of those people that are not paying their bill, how they're jeopardizing their town, because that's part of that supports public safety, you'd think you'd have a right on your hands to get these landlords to pay the bills and get caught up.
While we don't put stories usually in the Times, they'll pick them up sometimes. We do have a local paper that services Eagle Point and Shady Cove. that I'm sure we could ask and show during one of the council meetings, because she writes a really good article about all the issues before council, and we'd make some headlines. I'm pretty confident in that.
That's where I would probably start. Right there, on your end.
Right.
Yes. That would be a great deal. To get the public to know how poorly they're paying their bills, and what the ultimate result could be losing the ability to use your bathroom in your house or your business.
And
Well-
before we let you go, there was a second issue. We sort of would like to broach the subject about the land under the treatment plant. Yeah, if you would, the mayor.
We would just like to see if the board down the road would like to entertain or talk to us, and because I understand since I've taken office that the plant itself has all been transferred through
Right.
contracts and everything to RVSS, but the land underneath it is still city land. So really, we'd like to kind of marry those together for you guys, or what, it's just something we think that the city and the board need to come to agreement on, and put them together. You know, because right now I know certain things, if you need to do some repairs or whatever, we have to approve them at times, or it's weird. So we were hoping that down the road you could put it as an agenda, or even put us down to come out and talk to us regards to what you might want to do with the property itself. We still carry liability insurance and everything on it. And, you know, we'd like to be able to say, hey, that's their property, they're gonna deal with it, or however you'd like to work on it, so.
Because I know Carl will have to come to me when you do upgrades, and I'll have to sign off on it for the city, so. As Carl had said, it would be much easier.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think that was an oversight when we did the annexation, that,
Yeah.
at least on our end, I think we assumed that that would automatically get transferred, but it didn't. And so, yeah, it is a little bit of an awkward situation. So yeah, absolutely, you know, it would be, I think, in everyone's best interest to have that transferred into our name.
Yeah.
You know, we're certainly interested in that.
So if we could get that up, bring it to the table, that'd be great. for the
Okay.
city. Okay. That's it.
All right, so Tom, can you send us kind of your list of delinquencies?
Sure.
Or back there and that kind of stuff, then that might help us to put together a policy on that.
No problem.
And go ahead and talk with your local reporter there, and tell them about the discussions we're having.
Not a problem.
Does Christy Solo still work for the?
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's really
She
good.
writes good.
Yeah.
Very.
Attends every meeting, and we just went over it again. So, yes.
We're getting serious, and I think it's a part of it, because it's a public, you do everything so the public knows what the heck you're doing.
Exactly.
It's a good thing.
Yes. And we thank you for your time and your indulgence on hearing us.
Thank you.
Appreciate your input too.
Yeah,
Thank you, Tom, John.
Thank you.
thank you guys.
All right.
What is the cost for us to do something, to dig the,
It's in the code, and I think it's $640 is like I mean, our code says.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, we can cut someone off and then they have to pay $640.
and rebuild it, which needs to be reevaluated, I'm sure it's more than 600,
Yeah.
whatever, but.
Yeah,
So
put
we
that
would
on your
also-
list of things.
No, this could bring about ripple effects around your whole area. Once they hear what's going on in
It would help the
Chicago,
others,
other
Oh,
people
yeah,
like
that's
that.
what I was thinking. If it's happening there, it's happening throughout the state,
yes.
especially with smaller municipalities and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, I know,
Because of nobody.
Charleston Sanitary District, for some reason, and this was in Coos County, I think, the county wouldn't do it for them. They wouldn't certify. That was John Cherokee was on the STO board. And he did, he got, you know, that's what he started doing, is digging people up and cutting them off. And it didn't take long, right, to start doing that. People wise up, but you know, it is a big, it's a big move.
Well, like Nick said, even if we just got the information out there, that this is what we're talking about and doing it, it might help. But Susan, and then it wouldn't take too long before, when we actually did it, that would stop it.
And the owner would not have to just catch their bill up current, they would also pay the $640 or whatever, so.
I would assume it'd be the same fee to reconnect, right? We could take this cost you $640 to cut it off.
I think it's just a one-time fee in our code.
Is it?
And I think you don't charge them to cut them off, but you do charge them to reconnect.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, it should be probably $640, so you would have to get a crew on that.
So, yeah, that's what it's cost to try it
That
out.
needs to be,
Yeah.
Right.
I think we're like between $400 and $500, depending on the equipment we have per hour.
Yeah,
yeah, just good.
I mean, like Jen was saying, it's, you charge a reconnect fee when you don't pay your cable bill or your
Yeah.
power bill, or, you know.
I think it's gotten to the point where everybody realizes what are they gonna do? Can't go over here, shut a valve off and get it done. They're just.
You got at least an hour travel time. Get up there and back, right?
Alrighty, now, the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I second that.
Okay, moved and seconded, roll call please.
Peterson,
Yes.
McPherson,
Yes.
Schoenberg.
Yes.
Boy.
Do you need? You got them, right?
Yeah. So, and the next, so that's been, consent agenda has been approved. Now it's resolution 2402, award of bid for Antelope Road Sewer Construction Project, J084.
So, we talked about this last month.
Yeah.
We went through and got the approval from DEQ on to the form of the documents and everything. So we're ready to award this contract. Central Pipeline, just under $6 million for the project. Anything more to add?
No, big tabs on the back if you guys are curious.
Yeah, and we did talk about that last month, and, you know, again, we only got one bid. So,
It's concerning me that we're only getting a little bit,
yeah, it's, you know.
but there's a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of stuff going on. The size of the project is tough for local people. Most local contractors can't secure the bonding for it. And it's not so big that it's going to attract a whole lot of attention from out of town when there's, you know, there's a lot of infrastructure money floating around right now. And,
Yeah.
Everyone's taking
They are
advantage.
getting busy, yeah.
Yeah.
And my daughter works for the engineering firm, because I kind of think
Yeah.
contracts.
Yeah, I think the size, what Carl said is really the thing. We'll touch on the next one. See how many bids we got for that one.
The difference between the engineer's estimate and the bid itself, a little over 300,000, is that kind of typical of a project this size?
It's typical for the times we live in. Let's just put it that way. It's been really hard.
It changes so often, I don't know how you keep up with this.
This is the biggest contract that we've had in my 26 years here. So,
We have to drop the bucket, I think it's it, but it just.
I used to feel like I was pretty good because I'd land right in the middle of the bid.
Sure.
The bid like distribution. And over the last two or so years, it's just, we're behind every time.
Yeah, we seem to have, where it came from, we seem to have the same issues. It's a big group.
But you still give them a good shot.
I do. We give her.
Well, the thing is, everything is so much money, and supply chain stuff is like ridiculous
Yeah.
sometimes, so. Anywho, we need a motion.
I make a motion that, accept the resolution 2402 award bid for Antelope Road Sewer Reconstruction Project J084.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, roll call please.
Peterson,
Yes,
McPherson,
Yes.
Schoenberg.
Yes.
thank you. Now, resolution 2403.
right, this is the Cummins Stormwater facility. And we got a bunch of bids on that one. Five. So this is the one that's in Talent at the old Walmart site. And I think we're happy with the estimate. We're ready to get started on that. We've actually, that's the one we have 2 grants to pay for. We've already collected all of the costs to date. We've been reimbursed for, which is pretty nice. And so, we're recommending approval of this contract.
You have any experience with Visor Constructions? That's what you worked with before?
Well, this is like the 3rd iteration, because it used to be the old man Visor, and then his son Stan took over.
Oh, I see.
And now Stan's gone and it's somebody else, so.
Stan was great. He was always my go-to for when people would ask, like a, old couple or something, their sewer pipe was backed up. I'd send them to him because he was always really fair with the prices. Doug Pickett is the new owner, and we've worked with him, not under a contract like this, but I think he did a project for the city of Central Point for the sewer main extension for the new baseball fields.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good job. Good to have familiar, right? You're familiar with the contractors for sure. And it looks like it's right there, your estimate.
Close. Still behind a little bit.
Yeah, but
About the same
it's still below,
percentage.
it's still below the cost.
Okay, a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2403, award of the bid Cummins Stormwater Management Facility to Visor Construction.
And I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Anderson,
Yes,
McPherson,
Yes.
and Edwards.
thank you. Okay, project updates.
All right, Antelope Road, we'll spare you the details on that one. The Shady Cove Pump Station number 2, we submitted DEQ, we actually just received design approval on that. We got a quote from Xylem, the equipment supplier, and we approved it, and we're moving forward there. Highway 99, Rose Street to Glenwood. We're mostly just waiting for pilot rock excavation to finish up their water line project out there that I believe NIFR is going to start on that. There's not a whole lot for us there, other than the stormwater facility, which I'll talk about in a minute. Ashland Pump Station number 2, Force Main, our construction crew went out there, and we've got a pretty green crew, and it was a good project for them to start on. It's pretty shallow, it's not gravity, and they got pretty good at it by the end. They're pretty happy with it. They busted it.
Yeah.
Busted it out pretty good. Yeah. They were getting between 200 and 300 feet a day, which is pretty good. Pretty good for our cruise. Fiscal year 24 CIPP projects, all the main line lining is in, and we've checked on the videos and it all looks good. From a stormwater facility, I already talked about that. From a stormwater facility, that's the big regional facility that's going to go in with that Highway 99 project. I actually just spoke with one of the main designers at ODOT, and they were talking about maybe they're going to continue that corridor project all the way through to Medford on 99, and they're going to need to do stormwater management. So they were actually contemplating trying to tilt this, upgrade and tilt the stormwater back and put more into that facility, which would be great. I don't know if I haven't looked at the grades, but it seems difficult to me. We'll see. And then our treatment plant projects, generally speaking, are we done doing overtime out there? Yes. Okay. So our guys were out there bringing overtime, so they're retrofitting all the SCADA systems. So we're done doing that, and we're still in the design.
You got somebody out there 24/7.
Yeah, we had about a week when we had no alarms functional. And so we had to have swing shift in a graveyard to have some kind of, but we only needed it for 4 nights. So that worked out really well. The SCADA it's pretty much up and running right now. They're gonna let it sit and settle down and figure out everything that's wrong, and then come back and finalize it out.
And for sure, they're gonna need to tweak it, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, there's always little bugs. That's going pretty well.
Yeah, and the UV disinfection, we're working out the contract with the supplier. Wanted to revise our contract that they bid on, so. We kind of sent it back to him, and Carl can probably speak this better than I can, but I think we'll maybe give a little, but we're not gonna let him take too much on it.
Good.
Yeah, we've got a meeting, with their attorneys, coming Friday, I think. It's kind of funny because you put out the request for proposals and you say, this is the contract language. And then they come back and here's our proposal. And they say, okay, you in the proposal. And then they say, oh, by the way, about that contract language. and I guess that's not unusual in that world. We're just talking about buying equipment, and so they suggested some edits to it, and Nick and I looked at it, and it's like, yeah, that looks kind of fishy, and sent it to Joe, and he had some serious red flags. There was, I guess, did we talk? There's a provision that says we can cancel the contract anytime, and they wanted to, and I think they're justified. It's if we cancel it, and they've already done a bunch of work, they should get paid for that. That makes sense. But they put the word convenience in there. They said we can cancel it anytime for convenience. And yeah, that's how I would look at it. Apparently, in the legal world, if you put that word in there, that means they're also entitled to their anticipated profits.
Oh, nice.
And we would have never known that.
No.
Joe jumped right on that.
Yeah.
That's why I like your.
Yeah.
It's a good little safety net, that's for sure.
So anyway, we're gonna have a talk on Friday, and I think I don't think there's any insurmountable hurdles on that. And yeah, Joe's like that. I mean, his first reaction is, let's get him on the phone. And usually that solves everything. He's really, really good at that.
Yeah, he saw the language and he was like, there's a lawyer drafted this up. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. He's like, let me just talk to the guy and we'll figure it out. Kind of feeling I got.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. O&M update?
Okay, our routine maintenance is on schedule. Like I said, we've already passed our annual goal for TV inspections, and we're really close to meeting our annual goal for flushing. Nothing to report on pump stations, but there is now. So on Monday, somebody drove their truck across one of our pump stations and broke off the power pole and the control panel. So this is West Glenwood Pump Station. It's a tiny one. It only serves a handful of houses. And there's enough capacity in it that we can go a couple of days without any problems. But it took us, we had to get an electrician to go out there, put in a new pole. The control panel was not damaged. So that's all taken care of. And so we're working up the cost, and we're going to bill the guy's insurance. That's the first disaster that's been taken care of this week.
Is that small one that was in that neighborhood that you look at?
Did we just work out
You know,
You drive. Oh, okay. Oh, in the fire?
Oh, no, that's
Arbor.
Arborwood.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Now this is, it's a tiny, it used to only have one pump in it. I mean, it was just like a manhole sized well. We just rehabilitated it within the past year or two.
Of course.
But the pole, and we put up bollards to protect it, but he got around the bollards.
Like drove through.
You tried really hard to get that.
So anyway, that's been fixed, and we're waiting for the one to come in, and we'll get the culprit on that one. Treatment plant, we talked about the SCADA out at Shady Cove, Gold Hill. All four of the influent pumps are operational, so that's good news. And we still have a spare on the way. White City Lagoons, we mentioned last month that we had a power incident and damaged a bunch of our aerators. Pacific Power says not our problem. So they're not paying us anything, but
Oh,
it's back up and running. So, and, you know, it did cost some money, and we are upgrading it a little bit to get better surge protection on there.
2 areas showed up this week.
Okay. Building and grounds, I have directed a better sign company to give us a better sign. We got all the letters taken off, but I don't have a date yet when they're gonna come out and put the new letters on. And then bringing the 3-phase power to the back lot for our vehicle chargers is scheduled for next week. And actually, we're gonna have a period of time next week where we don't have power here that shut everything off. So that gives us a chance to practice with our generator. Protocol and not all generators. The new vehicles, I still don't have a firm date on when they're supposed to arrive. Last we heard was April, but it is April. So we don't have a date on our TV van for the electric vehicles. Shady Cove, we made them an offer to buy that backhoe. He didn't tell me no, but he didn't tell me yes either. So I'm not sure if they're interested. I mean, I know they're interested. I'm not sure if they have the money to.
I talked to them about it. They don't. I don't know why you didn't give you a definite answer. It's just they just can't afford to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I don't know if the district would be willing to do a transfer of asset type of thing. Or not.
Well, you know,
Can you get some land?
I mean, the whole thing with the land at the
Yeah.
treatment plant has been a thorn in my side for 6 years now. So,
I didn't even know about that.
yeah. Yeah, when I first realized that, and like I said, it was an oversight, and I mentioned it to Tom, and he was hesitant to bring that to the council because that was just, you know, that was kind of a little sleeping dog lay mentality at that point.
Previous.
You know, now we got stuff on the table, so we can probably sort all these things out at once.
It's a good council right now, so
That's good, yeah.
very good.
Let's see, staff training, we have confined space training scheduled for middle of May. And then we've updated our training procedure for new employees, so I have kind of a bingo card for them. Either a bingo card or a scavenger hunt, I'm not sure how you would do it. They've got like a 6-page checklist of all things they're supposed to learn in the first year here, so.
Oh, wow.
We just had a new employee start on Monday, so he's gonna be our guinea pig on that one.
Cool.
So that's moving along. The other disasters that I have not mentioned yet. We had a fuel pump out at Gold Hill for the generator went bad. So we had to send that out to get fixed. And so we were out, we did not have a backup generator. So we brought a portable one out there. The electrician came out and wired it up and wired it for 440 volts instead of 230 volts. And when they tested it, lots of things went pop.
Oh, boy.
And at first, yeah, eventually, you know, Kevin said there was a lot of smoke, but not a whole lot of damage. So it doesn't look like anything. I mean, it doesn't look like we lost anything. We had good surge protection.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, a couple of minor components, you know, got fried, but none of our pumps or motors or anything like that. So
Was that our usual electrician?
yeah, and and I think, well, I know one of our operators told them it was 400 volts.
Oh,
And so that's what he did, but you'd think an electrician would know.
Confirm that, yeah.
And then I had our third disaster of the week is we had a
It's
service
only
line.
Wednesday.
Yeah. No, okay, we got 2 more days. Service line in Central Point was blocked up, and it turned out that I think it was Comcast had plowed their service, their communication line through the person's service line. We dug it, and the thing is, we're not sure when it happened, but they know they did it because they put a concrete cap over it to try to protect it after they were done. So
And they didn't let you know?
yeah, no, they didn't let us know. So again, we're going to be going after them to make good on that.
Windshield,
So what's that?
the windshield.
Windshield.
Yeah, we got an email couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
That's not much of a, that's not a sewer disaster.
No, that was, a person said that a rock fell off her truck and broke the windshield, but I sent that to the insurance company, and the insurance company decides to pay. That's, that's, I know how that works. Anyway, so that's all for operations. And I'll move right on to the manager report. For our staffing issues, for the new operations manager, we have done our first round of interviews. And we whittled it down, surprise to our two incumbents. And so we had one follow-up interview yesterday, and we've got another one this afternoon. And we'll be making a selection from one of our two people, which will create another vacancy on our staff. But you know, I'm not surprised that we ended up here, but I'm glad we went this process, because I think that that gives the new operations manager kind of a little bit of added confidence in there that, you know, he was up against, you know, a pool of some of those 30 applicants for the position overall. So that's moving forward. Our new collection system operator, most recent, started on Monday. And then we have not started a search for a new stormwater technician. Alex's last day, I think, is the 28th. 6th, yeah. So we'll take care of the operations side first, and then we'll move on to that. Gold Hill Regional Intertie, we did get approval for the loan through Business Oregon for $1.9 million to cover the design costs. $700,000 of that's going to be forgiven. For the DEQ loan, it's going to fund the construction. We are on the intended use plan, so everything's where it's supposed to be there. And then the USDA portion of that, that's one where you put in the application after you've completed all of your environmental and cultural clearances. So that application doesn't actually go in until probably another year, but we're in the process of checking all the boxes there. Board dinner. We had a discussion last week about board dinner, and I think this is something that I make a bigger deal out of than needs to be made, because that's what Joe told me. But you know, basically, Joe's like, of course you can do that. Why wouldn't you do that? Yeah, just keep doing it. So what I'm going to do is update our board policies and make that clear that, you know, that we have a celebratory dinner that includes board members and select staff and guests, and just leave it at that. And so that'll take care of that and make it clean. And then also, you know, one thing I am going to make clear in the budget that, you know, we have a line item for board expenses, but we've always paid for the dinner out of a different out of the line item for travel, lodging, and meals. So I'm gonna all the stuff is board expenses, the lunches that we do and everything else. We're gonna put that in the board expense line item.
That sounds like a good idea. I'm pretty sure that's what the city does for the city council. It just sounds compartmentalized in a way. So that you'll see that on the budget next week, and then the board policies, I'll bring those back either May or June. Okay.
The Gold Hill transition. Let's see, the MAO. This is funny. The DEQ canceled the MAO with Gold Hill, and they said they were going to enter a new one with us, but they haven't. So I don't think we have any deadlines right now.
They trust us.
Yeah.
As long as they don't find you for anything, that's good.
The assumption of the loans, I don't really have anything new to update there. I think everybody's waiting to get financial information from the city, and the city has not been able to provide anything. And I tried to contact Lily earlier this week, and I called her this morning, and I haven't heard back from her. She mentioned at a meeting last week with the Council of Governments a week before that she expected to have the audit report and everything done soon, like before now. but I haven't seen anything of it, so I have no idea where they are with.
As long as she hasn't gone screaming to someone on undisclosed location, it's okay.
She may have, because, I called
Yeah,
and she. So I'm still trying to track down that. Everything else is just right on track. We have bi-weekly meetings with the design engineer, and things are starting to pick up speed there. They've done most of the survey work, they've done all the modeling work. It looks like we're gonna go with the 2 pump station solution, and where they think that is the best place for the second pump station is right where I told them I think the best place for the second pump station was, so.
That's
That worked out really good. So that everything's moving. Our billing is pretty smooth right now. I don't think we're having any major issues with that.
it's more people paying.
Yeah, we just sent out quarterly, and our deposit yesterday was the biggest I've ever seen of credit card payments. Just a lot of it is, the mail had a change, skipping the mail Medford sorting or something, and now it's going to Portland and sort and then come down. So we seem to be like 2 days off the receiving, but the credit cards, majority of people are switching to credit cards. Yeah. We haven't ran our preliminary certification list yet. Typically, when we run that, it's about 300 something, and then we threaten them and we get maybe 80,000. We haven't run that yet. It'll be a couple more weeks.
Okay, and then for executive session, just a reminder, next month, we're going to talk about cybersecurity in executive session. And then the following month is when we'll schedule my performance review. So if anything you want on that, let me know. Typically, what we've done historically is I give you guys more or less a self-evaluation, but if you want to do a different approach or a different format or anything, just let me know. We'll do what you want. Okay.
I'll be here for the budget meeting next week, but I won't be here for a regular board meeting in May.
Okay. All right. And I think that's all I have. Claims.
All right, and then we need a motion for the bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
And I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Kay Harrison?
Yep.
Rick Wilson?
Yes.
John Edwards?
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else, anybody? We're done. So,